Southern Ohio Medical Center.
Very good things are happening here.
The city's compliance right now. And to start off with, I think the letter that we sent you is still accurate and true. To the best of our knowledge, both facilities are out of compliance at this particular point in time. We understand that you've hired Sam Sutherland back, but I don't know that that's very clear to us. We have sent correspondence. We've had several types of correspondence with the city regarding taking over. I think Mr. Bornino sent an email to you, Mr. Peck, about having Ernie's company take over and operate the facility. We asked for some information about how you're going to meet minimum staffing times, how you're going to comply with those regulations. We've never received a response.
There was a miscommunication, Mr. Sutherland is there, so whatever the document is, Mike will just make a copy.
And I know I've talked with Sarah and let her know that Sam is back, and I know there's an issue about the distribution part of it. And
right.
So that form has been...
certain paperwork tell us that Sam Sutherland's in place. We want to see what his position description is now that he's come back to the city. So water plant, we've got that addressed. Wastewater plant, again, out of compliance. You need a class 4 operator. We've told you your information that you've sent us regarding an operator record form. It's not even a contract you have with this group, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's just a memorandum of understanding. At least that's all we've seen. We've never seen a formalized contract with this engineering group. All these other solutions that have been proposed, bringing in operators and things like that. Mr. Sisson, again, from my knowledge, had not applied as of yesterday to be a class 4 operator. So I believe in order to do that, he's going to have to apply. I'm not sure off the top of my head whether or not he has experience to allow him to be eligible to take a class 4 exam. That process, to be open and honest with you, could take 30 days to approve his application. Once that happens, it could probably take another 30 days to approve a request to have that person have the O2E exemption. So we'd be looking 60 days out that we're still out of compliance.
Yeah, in case you know the history, the CSO problem was clearly identified in 1997, and there was Mr. Little, who was Mr. Yandridge's predecessor, worked hand in glove with the residents who were affected and trying to come up with solutions. And at every turn, the research shows that the city turned their back on the citizens and let development to continue to occur, and also out of compliance with 2001 stormwater regulations. So the CSO problems have grown because the development has increased without proper controls, and now we have more than 150 homes.
No, it's not. Today's meeting is not about the CSO compliance.
Well,
it's not about that.
It's raised about
today's meeting is about operator certification issues.
Exactly, and my,
so let's try to keep
my
those
question
issues
is about whether or not we had adequate operational control previously. And so that's the reason I raised the question about how long a class 3 is eligible within your system. Now you said the gentleman that Mr. Peck is speaking with, they can apply, and then you have to go through the process of evaluating their application, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That's getting to the issue of concern and why I made management changes. So I have a manager that I trust that can go forward with the process. And that's why I wanted you to at least clarify for me and the members of the council who are here what the process is.
Okay. As long as you get the proper documentation in the form of, it sounds like an operator of record with a specification that Mr. Sutherland is going to be over both the filtration and the distribution, that will satisfy and meet all immediate
Absolutely.
Concerns with the compliance for the water. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The only issue, Mr. Jones, would be is from the time that Mr. Sutherland was let go to the time he was rehired, what did Portsmouth do?
And am I talking with, and if I misspeak, please tell me, Sarah,
Okay.
but my understanding when I first talked to you before we had Sam back was that there was a 30-day period as long as there was a qualified Class 3 operator, and then there was an issue about identifying who that person was. So as long as there was a identified Class 3 operator who could be in that 30-day window, the city would be okay?
Unfortunately, we never identified a Class 3 operator. We never received the paperwork to identify that person. So during that 14-day window, you were out of compliance. Now, again, that's done.
Right.
He's been back since January 14th, and as soon as we get the paperwork, we will be okay.
Is there anything we need to do for that 14-day period? Or, I mean, obviously there wasn't.
I mean, we've got the records of what happened at the plant, and we will go through them to make sure that there was that everything that needed to be done was completed.